Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Northyard Inc. YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing an oil change on our Exmark Lazer Z. Let's get into it. Alright, first things first, let's talk motor oil. So I am using AMSOIL's full synthetic 10W40. I'm using AMSOIL because they're local to me. They're about an hour and a half north up in Superior, Wisconsin. I'm from Minnesota. And this is a Kawasaki FX801V engine. And it calls for 10W40 for most applications. Depending on your climate, where you live, and what you're doing with your machine, the recommended oil may be different, so check with the engine manufacturer to see what's going to be best for you. Next up, let's talk filters. You could go with the Kawasaki filter. I don't know what that part number is, but I go with Wix filters. I get them from fleetfilter.com. No referral code or affiliation. It's just the cheapest place I could buy them in bulk. But the filter number is 51394. You know, this is a good quality filter. I would stay away from like Oregon and all them. I've had trouble with those. But yeah, that's the filter that we use on these engines. And next up, your tools. So this is gonna piss some people off. But you're gonna need an 11/16 wrench, 2 of them. You can use a socket wrench, whatever. This is what's gonna make people mad. I use an impact. Don't care. It's what I do. It works. Use it on the lowest setting. Don't give her the beans. And then your filter wrench. Some people prefer the type that go over. I like this one because it's what I have and it's super cheap. I think it's from Walmart. So, and then obviously your oil catcher. And then yeah, that's it. Let's get into it. All right. So one thing you're gonna want to do before you start is run the engine for 5 to 10 minutes to get that oil nice and warm so that it comes out a lot faster and kind of gets it all cleared out of there. Like I said, I'm using 10W40. My engine takes 2.5 quarts. So let's get started here. One thing, put this pan kind of halfway between your filter and where this spout's going to come out, because you're going to do both at the same time. You don't want all that oil from the filter going on the floor. So you take your 11/16 wrench, you put it right there on the hose, and give her a rip. Alright, and we'll let that drain for a little bit. To speed up the process a little bit, go ahead and remove your oil dipstick so it doesn't vacuum. Alright, so one thing I do a little different than most. A lot of people like to take a marker, a permanent marker of some sort, and write on the filter itself the hours that it needs to be changed or the hours that it was changed. I like to use Dymo Electrotag. It lets me print out a little waterproof sticker, and then I put it right here on the panel. You can see I clean that area off. Recommended oil change is anywhere from 50 to 100 hours. We beat these things up, so I've been doing 50 this year. I'll check it at 50. Sometimes we'll run it to 75 or 100 based on what the oil looks like. Once it starts getting low, we'll change it out. So this one I think is at probably 100 hours, but I'm going to mark it for 50. So I think this one's at 1766, so 1816. I'll mark this one for. We'll be good to go. There we have it. Alright, and I haven't had an issue with those coming off. They don't come off, so if that's what you're thinking, not going to happen. Alright, let's move back here. Alright, so now that this has been draining for a little bit, we can kind of scoot this back so it's barely dripping on the edge so that we can catch all the oil that's going to come out of this filter. So, take your filter wrench here, start turning counterclockwise. Little side note, I do not use this to tighten it. Hand tighten only. Take that and toss it to the side. Let that drain for a little bit longer here. Alright, it's been draining for a minute or two here, so you want to go in. You're going to want to go in and clean all this area up where the seal for the new filter is going to be. All this mess down here we'll get after, but get your hand in there and try not to get any debris inside this area, but be sure to wipe it nice and clean. Alright, once you got that all cleaned up, go ahead and take your new filter. Make sure that seal is nice and clean. Take a little bit of oil. Just let it drip on your finger. Rub it around that new seal. And tighten her on. And like I said, hand tight. No tools for this. Don't be stupid. Here we go. Alrighty, and now we can go ahead and clean all this mess up. Alright, now that this is pretty much done draining, we can go ahead and put our plug back in. And this is where you're going to get upset with me. Take our wrench and give it an ooga-dooga. Done. No more than that. Lowest setting, couple hits. Never had a problem in my life. Alright, now up top to add the new oil. Alright, like I said, mine is 2.5 quarts. Yours may be different depending on your engine. Go ahead and put our funnel in. Start with 1 full quart. Take your time with this so you don't overflow. So that's 1. Here's 2. And then we need 16 ounces out of this. So here's our half. I'll go just under and I'll check it in just a minute. Once that's all in there, go ahead and put our dipstick back and we'll run it for a minute. Alright, let's go ahead and fire it up, give it a little choke. Alright, that should be enough time for all the oil to go to where it's supposed to. Come over here, and we can check with our dipstick. So let me set you down here. Oh boy, bunch of gunk from the cloth. Take a clean paper towel, how about that? Alright, sorry about that. Go ahead and check it. There you go. I don't know if you can see that, but we're right on that full line. Perfect. One other thing that's good to do every time you do an oil change, check your oil filters. Your air filters. Take this off. You got an outer and an inner. The inner is usually pretty dang clean. I hardly ever have to do anything with that. But this outer gets pretty darn dirty. And that's not too bad, but we're going to blow it out anyway. Alright, so you can use your regular air nozzle, but I have this doohickey. It's designed specifically for this. You just stick it in there and go. Not too bad. I've seen far, far dirtier. I'll go ahead and put this back on. Alright, so you just take your filter, push back in there, and then one pro tip that I will give is this right here. This zip tie will save your life. I can't tell you how many times this little cap has come detached, whether it's from branches or just vibration, and it falls down and goes right on the exhaust. And it stinks like melting crayons and candles and plastic. And it sticks to that, so then it continually just burns and stinks forever. And these are expensive. So take a zip tie and run it through this little deal here and right through this strap, and you'll never lose this to melting and burning. All right, there you have it. Quick little 10-minute oil change on this machine. Super easy to do yourself. One thing I will say is after running it for a little bit, you'll want to make sure that that oil filter is still tight and that you're not leaking from anywhere, just to be 100% certain that you got a good seal on that. Other than that, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.